Welcome to Mamas and Mimosas. I'm Marianne.
I'm Roni.
I'm Janelle.
And today we're talking all about that time of the month, period time. PMSing symptoms, maintenance, accidents, and all that gross stuff. We're also covering how we're going to approach that combo with our kids, boys and girls. So grab your mimosa, pop in those earphones, and let's dive right into episode 22.
Woo!
Oh my God, it's gonna get deep, guys.
A shit show, a pure shit show. It literally takes a village.
I don't know if it was dirty or clean.
Oh my God.
Bad mom.
Like,
Gone
yeah.
wild.
Yes.
Because I'm shining.
Woo! That was good, guys.
We just want to make sure to thank you for screenshotting our episode and tagging us on Instagram. We love seeing who's listening and appreciate you sharing our show. To other mamas, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Okay. So did your guys' moms talk to you guys about periods when you guys were younger?
I'll go first. I don't remember. I don't think so. But mine's kind of weird. Like, I remember when I was really little, I want to say like 5 or 6 maybe. I don't know why, but I was spotting. So I remember she took me to the hospital. I don't know why, like nothing ever happened to me, I wasn't like sexually abused or anything. But I think she just took me to make sure like maybe I like bumped it riding my bike, or I don't know, just to double check. And that's why I remember it, because I remember being at the hospital when I was really little, and they were telling me how uncommon it was. So I think that's why, because I don't really remember a lot from like 5 and below.
Yeah.
But I remember that, and then I just remember like she was saying, oh, it's too early. Like, so when I did happen to like get my period, I was already kind of expecting it. Just I didn't know what it was though. She just told me like, oh, later on you're supposed to bleed.
So how old were you when you finally started?
When I finally started was 5th grade. I don't know how old that is.
You were pretty
early. Yeah, that's early.
I still was in elementary school, and then my middle school was 6th to 7th. So I remember I was still at my elementary school.
Dude, my son's in the 5th grade, and I can't even imagine if he was a girl having a period.
Oh my God.
You know,
I just remember going to the bathroom, and my thing was like all bleeding, like my chonies had blood on them, and I was like in the stall in the bathroom.
Freaking out, huh?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is probably what my mom was talking about when I was little. And I remember, like, I didn't tell the teacher, but I remember telling one of my friends who was probably like a year older than me. And she was like a bigger girl. And I don't know why. I just assumed she knew what I was talking about. And she did.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, oh, just grab like toilet paper and put it like down there until you get home.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Like, she ran back to the bathroom with me, and in the stall, we were in there together.
Trying to make a homemade pad. You didn't go to the nurse's office or anything? You were just like, I'm about to thug this out.
And I would think it was like during PE. So like we ran back out to
that's the
or
worst.
whatever. And then like I think it was towards the end of the day already. So I just ended up going home like not too long after.
So then did you use like when did you start using tampons, or like were you always into pads?
I think I started with pads because I remember we had some in my bathroom already. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to use these. And I remember, so like me and my cousins are all like around the same age. So we all went to school together. So after school, we would walk home together.
Oh, that's so
fun. I remember telling my cousin who was older, like what happened, and she's like, oh, you just put this pad. And she came, and we all would go, like my house was the closest to our school, so they would come to my house first and play, and then they'd all go to their houses. So she went in the bathroom with me, and we found pads under the sink, and she's like teaching me how to like, she took like the paper backing up and like showed me where on my chonies to put it. So
it's funny because you don't think of all that.
Yeah. And then I think the following year in 6th grade, and when I started volleyball, is when I got introduced to a tampon. And it was like the cardboard.
Oh my God.
Oh, those polyester tampons.
Because we wear like biker shorts, so like my friends kind of were like, oh, you should wear a thong and because I didn't know, like I was still wearing.
In 6th grade?
Yeah. Well, we were all in volleyball, so
that's another show.
Yeah. And so I'm like, was one of the ones who rocked like a regular choni in my biker shorts, and then my cool friends were like, you should wear a thong, and when you're on your period, like when my period did happen, like I rocked the regular choni again, and they're like, dude, I thought you switched, kind of thing. And
they're like, all up in your business.
Yeah. And
trying to help her out.
And, I'm like, oh, I'm on my period. I'm not gonna my pad doesn't fit on my thumb.
Yeah.
So I remember one of them like took me to the locker rooms, and she brought me to her locker, and she whipped out these tampons, and I remember she's like, you just stick it in there, but you take it off, and you put the cardboard all the way in and just push. And I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
He was like, you're not gonna feel it, I swear. It'll feel so comfy. So we went in the bathroom and I tried it. I'm like, I feel something.
Yeah,
every bit of it. Like,
you don't feel it.
It was so uncomfortable. Yeah, that's how I started with tampons.
Oh my God. Okay, so then since you were so young when you started, did you have a lot of accidents? Like,
yes, I was like a heavy flow. I even till this day, I am like super heavy. And like, I don't know. I don't think I understood like the different
flow nasal stuff.
Yeah, the sizes of them.
Super.
Yeah. And I remember, I think I would just get like a regular or whatever. And during class, multiple times, even in high school, I'm like embarrassed to say, I would have like huge leaks. Like it was so, I think the worst is like I was in jeans and it went all the way
that's the worst.
down my thigh almost. And I'm like
you can feel it sitting there. You're like, what am I about to do?
And I remember like, fuck, like what do I do? And I kind of like lifted my booty just to see my chair, and it was on the chair.
And it was a masochist.
It was disgusting. Yeah, it was so bad. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, does this happen to other people?
That's the thing. I've always wondered that same thing too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so glad we're talking about this.
Like sliding off my chair with like my jeans, trying to use my jean to like wipe the chair. And I like just took a jacket and wrapped myself.
For sure, them jackets always come in handy.
Had my backpack super low.
Man, these jackets were a lifesaver.
Oh my God. Okay,
yeah,
so
it was bad.
That young, did you have cramps too?
No, never, ever, ever. I didn't have cramps until after I had the kids. Like now my cramps stuck. And I remember people saying, oh, I like throw up when I have cramps. And I'm like,
right here.
Never, ever, ever. Or like even when I was pregnant, they'd be like, oh, when you're going to go into labor or like when you're contracting or whatever, they would say, oh, it's like having cramps, but on steroids. And I'm like, I don't know what it could.
So it's easy.
Wow. You're like, oh, so I got this.
Feel it.
But now I'm like curled in my bed in like fetal position. I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Oh my God. Really? What about you, Roni? How was your experience? Did your mom talk to you too?
So, no, you know what? I don't remember my mom having that talk with me. I just know, like, I feel like I was a late bloomer because I didn't start till I was in 9th grade. It was like my first or second week in high school. I was like, oh, so now you come. But she didn't really talk to me, but by that time I had already like knew what it was from my sister and friends because everybody had started, and I was just like, yeah, no, not yet.
But were you worried since you didn't start? Like, were you waiting for it and then starting to get worried, or you were?
No, I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like with everything, kind of like, I feel like I was like a late bloomer with everything. So I think I just was like, okay, like it'll come when it comes. I didn't expect it to be that late because a lot of girls were getting theirs like in 8th grade was like the popular, like in 7th or 8th grade. And I was like, no. But mine's, I don't think I didn't have a traumatic story like when it started. I just kind of like told my mom, and then she kind of like, well, do you know how to do it and everything? And it's easy to figure out. But I didn't start the whole tampon thing till I was like in the 11th grade. And one of my girlfriends had to show me how to do it. Just, I mean, she didn't physically show me. She kind of just told me how. But even then, in like the 11th grade, I was kind of embarrassed that my friend was like telling me all this stuff and about it. And she's like, "You're still wearing pads? Those are horrible. They give you rashes. They this." And I'm like, "This is all I know, girl."
Yes. Oh my God. So okay,
Yeah,
so
but
then what about your accident?
oh yeah, that's why I said that jacket comes in handy, because I guess, I don't know about you guys, but like when I was younger, I wouldn't really like pay attention to like the cycle. Like I wouldn't remember like, okay, yeah, it came on this date last month, but I wouldn't like know like, oh, in 3 days it's gonna come. Like as an adult, I feel like, okay, it should be here already. But then I wasn't like really paying attention. So of course I ran into accidents. But one of the things with me, my cramps were so bad growing up. Like I was the person who would get a headache and throw up. I missed school every time. On the first day that I started, my mom would just let me stay home, because it was either I would go to school and they would send me home because I was throwing up and like dizzy and everything. So yeah, so on those days she'd be like, just stay home. We already know what's gonna happen. And they used to be so bad that my mom has she had something called endometriosis, where she had to have a hysterectomy like at an early age. And we used to think, because my cramps were so bad, because that's one of like the side effects, I was like, oh, I know I have this. My cramps were just that bad.
So is the endometriosis hereditary?
It can be hereditary, but I didn't get it, thank God. But I could have swore like the symptoms and everything, because my mom used to have them so bad, like curled up in the ball. Oh, I'm so happy that I don't have to go through that anymore, because it was terrible going through that in high school.
So you said that birth control helped?
Yeah, birth control helped. So even though I wasn't sexually active yet, I was one of those girls who got on birth control early because my cramps were so bad, and that's what the doctor suggested. So I got on it early, and I just remember like I was like, everyone's gonna think that I'm just out there dropping it like it's hot because I'm on birth control. But it was a must, and it did help. Like the birth control helped so much with the cramps and the headaches and everything.
Oh my God.
I don't remember when I started birth control.
Really?
You don't?
I think high school. But
Yeah?
I don't know where I was getting it from. Planned Parenthood, maybe?
I went to Planned Parenthood
probably.
I remember a bag of pills.
With a whole bag of condoms.
a brown bag of pills.
Oh,
from Planned
yeah.
Parenthood.
That good old brown paper bag.
Yes. Okay, so I don't remember my mom. Like, okay, so I thought I was a late bloomer too, but you're like, Roni, you're a real late bloomer. Because I was
I thought so. 9th grade, I thought that was a little late.
I think I got mine going into like, it was a summer after 7th grade. So it was like,
see, that was everybody
going into 8th grade. But I felt like I was late. All my friends had already had theirs. They were already wearing thongs. You know, they all already had their stories of blood. And I was like, where?
Their jacket stories.
But you know what? I think that I had thought that when I would finally get my period is when my boobs would finally grow, you know, like that it worked hand in hand. So I was just like,
and it didn't.
I was just waiting, like, okay, just give me my period. So that
my boobs could get big, and it didn't happen that way.
Because my mom has like double D boobs, like natural, you know, and then my sister has like big ass boobs too, and me, my little baby boobs, they always make fun of me because I'm the baby boob of the family.
Baby
anyway, so yeah, so I don't like, I remember asking her a lot, like, how come I haven't got it, da, 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 you know, but and then she showed me like how to use a pad, but we never had, like, I don't think she was a big tampon user, so we didn't really have tampons in the house. but I remember it was in the 8th grade. I think it was summer going into 9th grade. We wanted to go swimming, and my older cousin that was like a few years older than me, she was like, you got to use a tampon. And I'm like, okay. And so she literally helped me.
Oh, she
helped
literally.
me. Like, she showed me, like, okay, this is where you put it, and this is where you go up. And I was like, oh my God. And no, it was one of those cardboard ones too. Like, it wasn't the pearl, it was the cardboard. And I think I got it like halfway in, and I'm like, nope, this it. And then I
So
felt like
uncomfortable.
I was just stuck, you know, like it was just stuck there, and it hurt. And yeah, and then after that, I didn't wear one for like a couple more years. So I was like pad for life. And my pads like were the thick, like I remember some of the girlfriends in high school would wear those always, those real thin
Little
ones.
liners.
Dude, not even the liners. Their pads are real thin. They
Yeah,
have like
Oh.
thin,
ultra
long ones.
thin.
I cannot do that. I'm a heavy flow too. So I need like those boat thick diaper pads practically, you know, just
I used to do the overnight ones, even like during the
Yes.
day.
Me too.
I wasn't that heavy. Oh my God, I wasn't that heavy. Even though I started late and my cramps were horrible, I wasn't that heavy. Only at night, I know which ones you guys are talking about. That long one,
Yeah.
from front to back.
Like,
especially a
I used to
diaper.
like stain the bed, dude. It was
Me
bad
too.
every month.
Yes, me too. And then my mom would teach me like put a towel down to catch it.
Like,
So
bitch,
every
stain my
month I would
bed.
put my towel. But you're right. Like I never had a calendar back then, so I didn't remember when it was coming. But I remember there was one accident that I'm an idiot. I wore white pants.
Oh my
I started
God.
my
that's
period,
the worst.
and I stood up to like get something in class, and one of my girlfriends was sitting right behind me, and this was the 8th grade. All of a sudden she just grabbed me and pulled me down, and I was like, what? Like, because she's not aggressive, so I was like, what the heck? And then she's like, you have blood like all over your butt. And I was like, what?
Oh shit.
And that sweater thing came in because I put a jacket and
telling
wrapped
you.
it around, and that was it. And thank God, I think it was like the last class, but I had to walk home and feel the squish. It was awful. Oh my God, it was
horrible.
awful.
But it's even worse, like, you know, when you are thinking, like when you feel like you're like, oh, I know I have blood on the back of me, and then you're like trying to walk by like a mirror or something and look, and sometimes it's not even there, but you just think like,
it's like
phantom,
like phantom blood or something.
And then you think it's gonna be, and if it is something, you think it's about to be so horrible, and you look and it's nothing. That's so hilarious with that.
Or all of a sudden you get like a gush of warmth or something, you know,
Yeah,
and you're just like,
oh, that's blood clot.
Yes, and you're like, oh, that's gonna be bad, and then you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
So you're like waddling, so it doesn't.
Exactly, so it doesn't squish out. Oh my God, this is so gross.
You know we're gonna keep it real on this show.
Know.
How about like you wear tampons now? Both of you?
Yeah, I can't wear a pad now. I have to wear a tampon.
So have you ever like been scared about the toxic shock syndrome?
From wearing it
The
too
TSS, like from wearing a tampon too long?
So what do they say? Anything over 8, is it like over 8 to 10 hours or something that you could risk getting it?
But does that vary on the person? Because I'm not gonna say her names, but I have a girlfriend who had this is a true story. She had a tampon stuck inside of her for literally a month and a half.
Stop right now.
No.
Ew, did she smell?
Bible.
Did you smell?
That people, like, you know, the longer you keep it in, like, it's rotting inside of you.
But I'll tell this story really quick. But luckily she didn't have like toxic shock or anything. But I remember like she had came to my house, and this is when my oldest son was little. He was like 2 or something, and she was like, you need to go change Devin because I think he pooped. And I'm like, no, he did not. He knows how to go to the bathroom. And we're like arguing because she was saying that it was Devin, but the whole time it was her because of the tampon.
So she did smell.
Yeah. So and then she said when she finally went to the doctor and they took it out, she said the entire room like was smelled so bad that they had to. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember one time I thought I had taken it out, and then like I remember I was like in the middle of a volleyball game, and I like ran to the bathroom before the game started, I think maybe, and I was like, okay, let me just go pee real quick and change my tampon. And I remember like pulling the tampon out to change it, and there was another string. I had two in
Oh my
there.
god, I bet you
Oh
almost
my
died.
Yeah, I was like freaking out, like typing in the symptoms.
I wonder how many people that's happened to, because honestly,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to wear tampons. Okay, so I still prefer the freaking pads. Like I get those thick ass pads, but I do like if I'm leaving the house though, I will double up. So I'll put a pad and a tampon just to make sure there's no accidents anymore. Like I'm terrified of accidents as an adult now. But when we go out like at night and say we're gonna go to a bar or drink or whatever, I get so nervous that I'm gonna forget to take the tampon out and then put another one in. Yeah. Even if I'm just buzzing and I'm just like, yeah, okay. And I forget I'm on my period. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, am I alone on this?
No, that's exactly how it happened for my friend. Like she was drinking and then she forgot, and that's what happened.
And it's so often that you're changing them that you just think like, I think I took that out.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I took that out. You know.
Yep.
Oh.
Being a woman.
But as far as like symptoms and stuff, like I just had cramps. I didn't have like the crazy headaches or the nausea or anything like that. Like I just remember really bad, like just cramps.
like regular.
And it was like the first 3 days of cramping too, because I was super heavy. But I know people who get like migraines where they like faint and black out and stuff.
Oh, not black out.
Okay, so now you only use tampons?
Unless I'm like this is unless this is probably way too much information. Unless I've been doing what? Unless I've been having a lot of like grown up activity and I'm a little sensitive, then I'll throw on like a pad after or something like
to let it relax.
Yeah, like if it's like if I've been going wild and then a few days later my period starts, then I'm like, yeah, I better put on a pad because I'm still a little sensitive.
Okay, but you don't leak from a tampon? Like you don't have to have a panty liner or anything like that?
No, and sometimes like, and especially now, like with the birth control, sometimes like I don't even really need a full, like I can even wear a panty liner. Like it's to that point. It's like so light.
But that's because of your birth control. Okay.
Yeah.
But
even before then, I would just wear regular, like the regular brand. I remember like I thought that I had a heavy flow, so I was getting like the super, and I would be like, no, it was painful. So because I wasn't like filling it up at all, like the regular was perfect. So
the worst thing is to pull it out when it's still dry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bloody murder.
Okay, so then I must have a heavy flow too, because I can't wear just a tampon. Like I haven't tried it with just the super on, but like the regular one, I have to have something in between, like a panty liner or a pad or something to catch. Because even if I only have it for an hour, I feel like I leak. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm putting it on right. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm going up too high and it's not clogging the hole. Like, okay, now tell me, are we supposed, like, here's your hole. Are you supposed to put it like past the hole where it gets lost kind of thing?
No,
or are you supposed to kind of just clog the hole where it's like you could still fill it in the hole?
You shouldn't fill it. You shouldn't fill your tampon.
You shouldn't be able to fill it. So it needs to go like really high up.
You can like wiggle and you still.
Yeah, you know you shouldn't be able to.
Do you still fill it?
No, either way, I still.
They just don't work out for you.
I mean, they help. They do help, but I just can't. I can't depend on them 100%.
I want to say first 2 or 3 days, I have to double up. Like I have to do a tampon and a pad because I like guarantee you, like still leak.
Okay, so what about for nights? Do you guys wear tampons throughout the night? Do you go over the 8 hours? I was always afraid of that.
I do.
There you go. You have toxemia, or what is it called?
Toxic shock.
Yes, toxic shock disorder. There you go. No, one of my cousins, she would sleep with a tampon, and she told me, just sleep with it. And I'm like, I'm scared because my mom freaked me out about that. She's like, if you wear it too long, like you got to change it every couple hours, because if you wear it too long, you're gonna die.
Yeah, but have you ever seen, like, I don't know if it's just because it's on TV, but like I've seen it on TV where like they legit go into like have seizures or like
What?
Oh my
yeah,
God, so
it's
it is
crazy. It's
scary.
crazy, yeah. But I don't know if it's legit. I mean, I've never known it.
Like at the 8-hour mark, then they're
I
like,
don't know. No, I've left mine on longer than 8. And
So you guys always sleep with a, so I'm just doing this wrong. So now that you guys sleep with a tampon, you don't have any accidents in your bed?
I
haven't
lay a towel down.
Just in case?
Yeah.
I haven't had an accident in a while, like
Okay.
years.
Do you double it up at night just in case?
Yeah.
Marianne or me?
Either one.
Yeah,
Both of you.
I do a tampon and a pad, but it's only the first like 2 days because so
2 to
I
3 days.
remember there were times where I just would do a pad just because I would freak out about the over 8-hour thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then because I like move so much when I sleep, like I would sleep sideways and the flow would just flow sideways and still go on my bed.
That's why I like the tampon so much better. I feel like
Yeah.
it goes with you, like
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
if it doesn't crunch all up or like
Mhm.
go off the panty. Like that stresses me out. Like I cannot do this. Like please stay down when I put my underwear down. You don't need to come up too.
So because I don't sleep with a tampon, but I'm gonna try it out. I still sleep with a pad, and I can't lay on my back because it's gonna trickle down.
Yeah.
You know. So like, there's times where Jack wants me to like cuddle with him, and I'm like, nope. That time
Not
I
tonight.
have to sleep on my
Back
side or this
Back.
side. No laying on my back. I hate it. Okay, I gotta try this for sure. Okay.
Sure.
So then do you guys have regular periods now?
Now I do, but I feel like prior to having kids, I was very, very irregular. And
Oh.
after having kids, it's been regular. Like it's regulated now. I don't know why. I mean, I've been on birth control since high school, so
And mine is flipped. Like I was regular.
prior.
Before I had kids, I remember it was like always the 27th. And then after my first kid, it went kind of back. But the second and the third one, like this now, I'm irregular, and I feel like I spot like for a whole week before my period.
Oh, that's
So
Really?
I have 1 week off, and then I'll spot for like 6 days,
oh.
and then I'll be off, but I'll be PMSing, so I'm gonna like fight everybody, and then I have my full on flood of open the
Are you on birth
floodgates.
control?
Wow.
No, I'm not on birth control. So yeah, so it sucks to have that like 2 weeks of blood, you know. What about you? Are you
And with-
regular?
Like this is the thing though, because like I feel like I'm regular with spotting. Like I know with the birth control, I have the IUD, and
You have
I
the
know
Mirena?
eventually. No, I have the copper one.
Okay.
And I know eventually they say that your periods stop. What I'm thinking, are they considering this a stop period? Because I don't have, all I do is like spot, but it's regular, like every month, or I spot for like 3 or 4 days and then it stops. But I'm like, is that what they call like the stop period? Because to me, that's still a period because I'm still spotting and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not heavy at all, like super light, but it's still annoying. And I still get the headaches. I don't get the cramps, and I still get the attitude. So
Okay. So when do you PMS? Do you guys PMS during your period or before or after? Like, what is your thing?
So
Go ahead, Roni.
I'm a week before and a week on and a week after. No, I'm
All
a week
day, every day.
Yeah.
No, I feel like mine comes like a few days before. Not exactly a week, but like maybe like 4 days before. I'm just like a firecracker, and then it leads on to a few days into it, and then it stops. But yeah,
Okay.
2 days before.
What about you, Marianne?
I want to say the week before I'm like super moody, like bitchy. And then the week of my period, I'm not bitchy. I'm just more I don't know what to like because
Quiet.
I'm tired and like I hate having to keep going to the bathroom and check. I don't think I'm bitchy, but there's
Annoyed.
Weird during that week.
Annoyed.
Just off a little bit.
Yeah.
But the week before, I'm like a bitch. Yeah.
Okay. I love it because I'm the week before too. So this is common. This whole thing is common. Nobody ever talks about it. I always thought that when people said you must be on your period, it was because like you're literally on your period at that moment. And I remember getting so pissed. I'm not on my period. But now that I'm keeping track, kind of like I still track it on my calendar, and I try to see when I'm going to PMS, so I know if those fights are really relevant or if I'm just being really dramatic. But it never fails. Like every month, I always fight during that time. Like something small that I can normally overlook is just like the end of the world. And I'm like, I just can't do this anymore.
And do you wake up with it? Like, do you wake up with it? Like, I feel like the minute like I wake up and open my eyes and something's not right, I just have like,
so do you realize that you are upset? Do you just feel upset? Because I don't wake up knowing that I'm PMSing. It isn't until we're having an argument and then my husband's like, you're going to start your period next week, huh? And I'm like, no. And then I look and I'm like, I hate you even more. Don't pretend like you know me. But I don't know that I'm PMSing right then. Like, I don't feel it. It's weird. Do you feel it?
I can usually tell, like, because my mood is just like, I'm just off. Like, I'm not my normal self. So I immediately know something's wrong. But maybe I don't pinpoint that it's that at that moment. But I know something's wrong. And then all the, like, craving all the, like, chocolate stuff, like, certain stuff that I normally wouldn't crave, just craving it. And I'm like, okay. And then I look at my husband and I'm like, And I'm like, yeah, it's coming. The period is on its way.
You're like, you again.
Giving you an attitude because you're the best person to give it to.
So Marianne, do you feel it coming on? Do you do you know that you're in PMSing when you are?
Like it's all in my head. Like it's all psyche. Because so this week, like I'm supposed to start next week according to my calendar. And so in my head, I'm like, oh, I know. But then I woke up probably the other day cramping. So I'm like, see, I'm going to start my period soon. And then I think ever since then, I'm like in my head, like more emotional or more snappy with Landon, more snappy with my husband. And I think because I know it's coming, that's when I'm like, I can just be a bitch because I know.
Do you guys cry more too? Like, are you easily triggered like with crying and stuff or no? Like sensitive?
That makes sense because I feel like whenever I have an argument with my husband and I have a hard time communicating, I get so worked up and I'm not sad, but I'm crying because I'm so mad.
Emotional
more often during that time.
Emotional.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but that's fun. Do you guys?
I feel like I get really emotional. Like even down to like a commercial can make me cry.
What?
Wow. Like there's like a few weeks ago, like there's a quarantine commercial that came on and I was like bawling like
Honestly, my family makes fun of me because it doesn't have to be that time of the month for me to get emotional.
Really? Okay.
Like they're all like whenever something's sad or a song or something, they look at me and I'm just like, let me just cry in peace. I just want to feel it with my heart. Oh my god. Okay, so does your husband call you out on you guys PMSing?
No.
Your husband doesn't?
No, I think he knows. It's funny because he's more horny when I'm on my period.
So didn't your husband request this show?
Yeah.
Well, you better be. He made it seem like you were throwing glass. And
he
stuff.
was trying to say because so this last month, because I haven't had this month yet. So this last month, and I was on my period, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't have enough like tampons, like. I'm only like 5 left and it's coming, or I know it's here, or I started. And, you know, because I don't go to the store because of the whole quarantine thing. Like, he's our store person. And I'm like trying to look on Amazon and whatever. So I had found some on Amazon and it was supposed to come like 3 days later. So I ordered them and I'm like, okay, hopefully these 5 will last me till like the next 3 days. And you know, my first 2 days are like the super heavy ones. But I get like that variety pack where it's like light, regular, and super. And it was funny because then later that day, like he had went to work and he texted me and he was like, hey, I ordered you tampons on Amazon Fresh or Amazon Now, where they like send it to you the day of. He's like, they'll be there around 6. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, how come we didn't do this when I was trying to look for them earlier? Like, why didn't you tell me about Amazon Now? I was over here on like regular Amazon. And I was like, okay, thanks. Like, you know, how thoughtful. Like, that was nice of him. And the freaking dude shows up with the tampons and they're like super ultra.
Only one size fits all.
Yeah, and like all one size, and they're like the heaviest flow. But I was already like, I want to say day
Almost
3 in, so I'm already on my light ones.
Yeah.
So I had ran out of my other ones, and all I had left were these ones that he bought me, but they're the super thick ones.
Ouch.
So yeah, sticking them in sucked, pulling them out sucked, and I was like, just be happy he got you shit. Like, don't. And it's funny because I told him, I'm like, babe, thank you, but can you look? This is the size I normally use. And I bring out like this little tiny one and I show him the
and it's a
big
compare.
old one.
You should have took a picture of that to show us.
So that night we were talking to you guys that had happened. And he's like, you guys need to do a PMS.
So
you should have took it back to when you were in 6th grade and you're supposed to do that toilet paper because that jumbo ultra sounds like it hurts.
He was like, oh, I thought ultra meant like it's sleek, like it'll be nice.
Oh God, you thought he got you like the designer tampons.
Yeah. He was like, oh, I didn't know that it's like for the flow. I thought ultra meant like it's nicer.
Oh, it's fancy. Wait, so how many days do you guys have your periods now?
Me, I want to say like 5, 6.
Okay, so you're still on.
I'm like officially done.
Now and you're like 3, 4.
Okay, so Marianne, you're on the pill?
I'm on the pill.
Okay, so you have like a 5, 6, and that's why your period's regular because you're on birth control too.
And I do that Flow app where it tells me, like, you know, it's like one where it tells you when you're ovulating and when your next period should be.
Why do you do that when you're on the pill?
I don't know. Because I want to like avoid having sex on my ovulating days.
Just to be double sure.
Well, because like with Lennon, I was on the pill.
Yeah,
and
smart girl.
So I was like,
We're gonna have to link that.
That's a good idea, listeners. That's smart.
Take care of yourself. What about you, Roni? So you said 3, 4 days? Only 3 or 4 days?
But it's always been like that. No, well, my whole period's always. I think the most that I've had a period was like 5 days, and one time, and I was like, wait a minute, I never go 5 days. But usually it's like 3 or 4, and it's over.
I'm like a 6 and
I hope
7.
my husband don't listen to this episode. Sometimes I stretch it out 5, 6, 7 days.
Day 10. I'm still heavy.
I'm still cutting.
No, but you know what too about that drawing it out though? Like men don't understand, like even if it's like 4 days, like I still don't want you to touch me on the 5th day because I still have to get everything out. Like just because it stopped doesn't mean I just want to go hurry up and jump in. Like I need everything to officially be out. Like,
oh, you don't do the towel thing anymore?
Well, we just do the shower, but the towel thing was like back in the day.
Okay, so hold on. So I have like 6, 7 days, and then like the first 3 or 4 are like heavy. But on that note, do you guys douche or douche? How do you say?
Douche.
After? Are you supposed to douche after to get everything out?
No, I heard like
you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. Like my gynecologist said that it takes all of your natural like juices and everything to fight off stuff. So to stop, I used to
Or
do it all the
bacteria.
time, and then they told me to stop doing
Did you
it.
used to get a lot of UTIs back then?
I did.
Because you douched.
Really?
Or
I thought it was from doing something else, but
Well, don't they say like even condoms can give you like UTIs or
they
like
could
not
throw off your
peeing after
pH
sex?
balance too.
Yeah,
if it's like dry,
yeah.
like not lubricated.
Oh, yeah. I've never douched, but I always wondered about it. Like if you're supposed to.
I used the oh my god, what is it called?
You
St.
were saying
Ives or what is
St.
it called?
Ives. You're gonna have to
What
link
it's
it.
called? It's
Yeah, I
like
think it's called
the
St. Ives.
soap that's poured down there. And they have like different scents. St.
So,
Ives.
okay,
that
but that's
make sense?
another thing. Do you guys use pads that have scent or no scent?
No offense.
They have some with scents. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
I've
they
never
have, like,
noticed.
They have
I've seen
panty
some of them.
liners and like Kotexes or like
Oh,
pads with
I don't
scent.
think mine do.
I can't. I tried it one time and I felt like it kind of irritated my skin, so I
Really?
had to go to unscented. Yeah, but I asked because you said that you use the St. Ives and it has like a pretty scent, and so I'm wondering, does that irritate your skin?
No.
It doesn't.
Funny story. I caught my husband using it like
What?
body soap. And
Well, then wait, it's not a body soap, so it's
I
only
just
soap
use
for your
it.
vagine.
Yeah. Well, I do. Like I have my regular Dove or whatever soap. And then when I wash down there, I use the St. Ives. But it's funny because like you guys don't walk in like when your husband's showering. Our shower's like in the toilet, like same as the toilet. So like
Yeah.
I just go in there when he's showering. And I was looking at him when he was like washing his body. I'm like, babe, you're using
That's mine.
My vagina soap.
And he was like, what? So he looks at the bottle and he's like, what the hell? He's like, how long has this been in here?
Oh my god.
That shit's expensive.
I was like, and I can't go to the store. Like, it's gold.
Oh my god. What do you
my
guys, when you work out, does that make you not want to, okay, when you're on your period and you're supposed to work out, does it make you not want to work out, or do you guys just push through it and wear a tampon through it?
My first day always sucks, but I just still work out.
Yeah.
Same with a tampon.
So because I was always only pad, I would use that as an excuse to not work out, because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna freaking lay on my back and do sit-ups, you know, because it's gonna
better for you too.
It is, yeah. And then somebody told me to wear a tampon and a pad, so I did that, and ever since then I was like, I could freaking work out. It's fine. Like I could lay on my back. I felt like I was a new person. Have you guys heard of those menstrual cups?
Yes.
Yes. I've seen those.
Would you try it?
No.
Yeah, I don't think that's for me.
No.
I learned about it in school. Like, you know, those, what the hell is that class called? Like home ec or something? Like where they...
Not home ec. Home ec is
Anatomy.
cooking.
Or...
No, it was like
Home ec is
high
cooking.
school. What class is it?
Dude, they had them back then?
Yeah.
No.
I thought they
Health
were new.
science? What?
Maybe health
those
science. Where they
classes,
teach you about like living.
Biology.
I don't know.
Anatomy.
It was just one of those classes where they're like, oh, you need to learn how to do this as you get older. And they talk about the birds and the bees.
Really? And they I didn't even know that they had that. I thought
Yeah,
that was
they showed us the menstrual cups. And I'm like, I would not put that up my vajayjay.
Some people like swear by it. I know.
Then you gotta wash it, right?
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Wash it. Not with my flow. I'm not washing that shit.
That's the thing. Like when you have to unsuction the cup, and then do you just get the cup and the blood just in the cup? Like I
That's what my impression of it was.
It's like I want to interview somebody who uses it because people swear by it.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
do.
It looks
it's
so
healthier.
big. It looks so big, and I can't imagine shoving that up and then it not leaking, and then carefully pulling it out
without making a mess.
and not making a mess. Yeah.
Maybe it's for like the light flow peeps.
So if any of our listeners use it and swear by it, let us know what you like about it.
In our FB group.
Yes, because we want to know. One of our this girl I used to know in high school, she would. Okay, this might be a little bit too much, but she uses the cup. She takes the blood and she waters her plant. She like fertilizes her plants with them. Yeah,
That's weird. Sorry.
And I'm not knocking it, but I'm just like, that's interesting.
Why? I'm gonna Google it.
I will tell you guys a quick little story about this. I believe people do stuff like that. So I have some relatives that live like in the South, and there's like some old, like, not wives' tales, but like just things that people swear by, and like almost like, I wouldn't say it's voodoo, but it's like little things that they go by. And someone, like a family member, I got to do this without saying names, okay?
Yes.
A family member told another family member to save some of her menstrual cycle blood, and if she wanted to make the guy she was dating like head over heels and crazy in love for her, to mix some of that in his spaghetti. And wait a minute, and let me just tell you, this person did that and had to end up getting like a restraining order against the guy because it literally made him like overly crazy. Yes.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I'll tell you guys.
I thought the restraining order was against her for being so nasty.
No.
It works.
I'll tell you guys who.
Wait, but prior to the spaghetti being eaten, was he like not all for her, or was he crushing on her already?
He wasn't all for her, and that's why they had gotten that conversation. And then the person was like, "I got something you can do. It works."
And he didn't.
And they did it. I don't know the details. I just know the aftermath, and I was like, "What?" So back to the plants. I don't know.
Okay, but would it be the same if, like, say you cut your finger and you just shove it in their mouth, or like
I don't know.
Or you
No, it has to be menstrual blood.
And also too, if any of our listeners has heard anything, because I know we have a few like listeners who are from like the Bayou, like New Orleans and stuff like that. So if
I still love you if you do it, my bad.
You're like, please don't curse me.
Let me know if you guys like heard of something like that, because there's all kinds of even in the movies, like even in Princess Tiana, like when you go to the New Orleans and stuff, they have like different little like witch doctors and stuff. So
like I know different cultures. Like like they believe in different higher beings kind of thing, like not everyone believes in God, which is fine. If they like pray certain things to their higher person, like I don't know, like I remember this was in high school, I have a cousin, and she swears like she had a boyfriend for X amount of time, and she swears that like that guy put a spell on her. I don't know how, like, he put a spell on her to love him. Because we were all like, why
are you with this teen love.
Yeah, like, why are you with this dude?
Bill was good.
We were all under that damn spell.
Mixing up something in the pot.
So can guys do it against girls?
I don't know.
I don't
know. I'm waiting for someone to tell me if they heard this.
Oh my god,
I want more details.
Okay, hold on. So do you think that guys PMS too? I know they don't have their whole bleeding cycle, but I swear that there's like a time of the month when they're like moody. What is it called?
Like sympathy pains? Like kind of like how guys have like when the wife's pregnant. Yeah. Is it like that? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes like they're moody at a certain time of the month, like where it's just like no reason at all, just moody. You guys don't
well, that's called just being a man.
Every month.
That's called just being a man.
If anything, mine's like horny when I'm on my PMS though.
Isn't that funny? Like a heat, like dog and heat kind of thing.
Yeah.
But do you guys get like that too? Like after, like either it's like way after or like a little bit before it's gonna come? Do you get like a little like frisky
Towards
or
the
no?
end of mine, I am.
Some,
And he's
Yeah,
like, hell
towards
no,
the
you're
end.
still spotting. I'm not that dumb. That's what he tells me.
Towards the end, in the week before, hell no. I'm like, I hate you.
but towards the end,
But towards the end, yeah, I feel more.
I'm like,
I
it's
don't know
just
what it
like
is.
dry blood. And he's like, no, no.
you're dealing with a germaphobe.
Okay, so how are you guys gonna talk to your kids about periods? Like, have the boys kind of like asked you why you're moody, or like asked you what these tampons are, or anything like that? Have your kids noticed anything like that?
No.
Oh, my kids notice, absolutely, especially my oldest son. Have like, oh, I know what time it is. Like, you better get out of my face. And then two, he knows also because we had my niece living here. And so she
Okay.
was a total different person. Like when she was getting her period, like
Oh,
they were like
wow.
very, very close all the time talking. And then when she would get her period, she was so quiet. She didn't want to talk to him. She just go like, he noticed and he asked me like, Mom, and he's like, why does she act like that? Why do you guys act like that?
Why do you?
Well,
That is you guys.
because
So
we
what did you tell him? What did you tell him?
I said, Devin, it's because we have juices coming out of places that we don't want them to, and we want you to get out of our face. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, really? That
Out
worked?
of the face. Get out of the face. Oh
No,
my
I told him like
God.
it's just something that us women go through, and like our hormones get to going, and our emotions get the best of us, and we just can't control it. Like it happens. And I was like, take notes now because this is just the beginning, my child, just the beginning.
Oh my God. Like, I don't remember really my mom PMSing. And when I was younger, we couldn't PMS. Like, my dad would be like, knock
Your
your
dad,
attitude
I
off.
love your
Yeah.
dad though. Like he
He
was
would not let us use that as an excuse. Like, oh, you're on your period. Oh,
Yeah.
like, there's
okay.
no
Let me be
such thing.
sensitive to you. Like, no, it's like, buck the fuck up. Go pull some weeds. So we never knew what this whole PMSing thing was, and it wasn't until later on I was in my relationship, and then I'm like, okay, we're fighting a lot, and then I started like tracking. I'm like, oh shit, I'm a bitch right before my period, but so my son, I don't think he. Well, yeah, I think sometimes they're like, whoa, she's mad, you know, and then my dad's like, just leave her alone, leave her alone. But okay, I don't know about you guys, but there's no privacy in our house. Like the doors are always open. Everybody's going to the restroom, in and out, in and out. And like I try to close the door, but then there's fingers and baby crying and stuff. So I just let her in. And so the boys come in, and like sometimes they'll see like a pad, you know, and they're like, what's that? Like, you wear a diaper? Like so,
Kinda.
so I've had to like, I actually explained to them one time, like, I think it was my older one. I don't think my middle one, but he's like, what is that for? And I'm like, okay. So, and I try to do like the whole scientific way. And I'm like, okay, a woman, like we have eggs, and every month we shed the egg and it comes out with blood.
Is
And
that
so
what it
this,
is?
so this is like, that's what I told him. And so he was like,
did good.
okay, you know, but
What the hell?
I had to explain it to him because they're so curious, you know, and
Yeah.
they see the things in the, like they see the tampon cases or whatever else in the trash cans, and they're like, what is that
That is
foreign
true.
thing, you know? So
Because I try to let my wrappers, not the actual thing, but the wrappers, I try to push them to the top of the trash can so that my husband can look in there. No, don't even try it. I literally like I decorate the trash can. Like I put them right on the top. Like, here you go. And then literally it works like a charm. Every time he goes to the bathroom, he looks like, damn it.
it seriously does. I don't do that on purpose. It just is there, and my husband be like, oh, I noticed you're on your period, and I'm like, yeah. He's like,
Sprinkle,
not in the
sprinkle.
trash can. And you
Yep.
purposely put it,
Yep.
you
I
sprinkle
put
that
him.
shit.
Yep.
Oh my
I
God.
decorate it. I want to give him the shock of his life. Like, why is she using so many?
What about you? Has Landon asked you anything, Marianne? Like, what is
No,
that?
not yet. I don't know how I'm gonna tell him what it is.
Are you gonna
Or what
explain
I'm
to
gonna
him?
say. I think I would just say every month, like, girls bleed.
I feel like Land is so smart. He's like a little man. He's gonna be like, I already know what.
Yeah.
I already Googled it.
It's like, so what hole does it come out of? The middle one? Or the one you pee out of? I already know those kind of questions.
Oh, you think
where
you'll ask?
where does the blood come out of? Why don't you just put a Band-Aid?
Speaking of holes, okay, so for Mother's Day weekend, I played Truth or Dare with the kids.
What? Okay.
Yeah, don't play Truth or Dare with your kids. And they asked a question. I think my 7-year-old said, what did he say? Has anybody seen your Feeny, right? Because remember I told you Feeny is a vagina.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, the doctors, when you guys came out. And then I realized that I've never explained to him, my 7-year-old, about where they come out from.
Uh-oh.
So he was like, what?
Oh
He
my
was
gosh.
terrified. And then I looked at my older son and he was like he knew. And so he started laughing and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So I never talked to you about that. So babies come out of a woman's feeny, or and then he was like, how? He's like, how? Is there a hole? And I'm like, yes, God made girls with holes to push babies out. And then he was like, how does it close back up?
It doesn't, my dear.
So curious.
Was your husband just sitting there like laughing?
No, he
Red?
was inside. He was inside. And then my older son, my 11-year-old, he's like, so is it like a garage where it just opens? And I'm like, exactly. It's exactly a garage. I was like, God made it so it could open and then it closes.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
That is a
And
garage.
I realized that, like, okay, it was so funny because he just was like, okay, and then he like dropped it, and I'm like, all right, that's interesting.
Garage.
Like,
that is interesting.
my vagina's a garage, and it just opens and closes.
And then your husband parks the car in the garage.
In the garage.
Oh, good job.
They also asked, do you and Dad make out? And I said, yeah, we make out. And then he was like, is that what you do when your door's closed? No, is that what you do when your door's locked? He said, when your door's locked. And I was like, my door's locked.
Like, how do you know my door's locked?
I always thought they were sleeping. And so I was like, yeah, that husbands and wives have to make out, So, and then
So they just come in when the door's locked and they just turn around?
Yeah. And then he's like, it's locked all night long. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're just asleep when I unlock.
Are you holding out on us, Janelle? It's not really 2 times a week.
Oh my God. But dude, I feel like the 7-year-old is getting to that age where he's asking all kinds of questions.
That's
Oh
so
man.
funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
All righty.
How are you going to talk to the girls about it? Do you know?
I'm just
Oh,
going to tell her, my dear child, you will bleed. And it's going to be messy.
oh gosh.
I honestly, if I could get away with wearing a diaper during that time, I think like as a kid, especially because of all those freaking accidents, I would have worn a diaper.
Yeah.
Like
and
a full diaper.
Tough. It's so tough for them too. And you don't like, I have a friend who started at 9 years old. She was 9 on a field trip and she had to do the jacket thing. I'm like, 9? That's so early. But there's kids who start at 9.
And it's traumatizing because that's it. Like, if you start in front of kids and then they call you the period girl or the blood girl, like, you're known for that forever.
Yeah, forever.
People don't forget.
Kids are cruel. Kids are cruel. Kids are cruel. Oh.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to try to be as honest as I can. The science route is kind of going.
Yeah, me too.
Smoother, but I don't know how I feel about the whole PMSing thing. Cause like I said, I've met people who have used it and like been absolute assholes to their moms or like their parents. Like, I'm mad. I'm on my period. And I'm like, that is not okay. So I don't think I'm going to be very sensitive when it comes to that, the whole thing. Yeah.
Because it's controllable. Like, I feel like even though, like, we feel a certain way and we're in a certain mood, like, we still can control it. You know, we're not, like, out there just, like, cussing out everybody, breaking glass. I don't know about you ladies. But, you know, so
I've
it's like,
people.
I just gonna teach her, like, I know you probably feel like you're going crazy and everyone gets on your nerves, but you have to control it, you know.
Take naps and eat lots of chocolate.
Don't
I
get smart with me.
Don't
I will
backhand
fight
like
it.
you said. I get so hungry and like tired during that time. What about you, Marianne?
I'm fatigued.
Your future daughter.
I don't know. I'm done.
Are you done?
No, she's not.
Ask me in like a couple of years. But it's funny because, you know, like we're kind of looking for a house. And so my husband and I have been like pinning a whole bunch of like decor or whatever. And he sent me a bunk bed, but it's like a triple bunk bed. He's like, this would be fun for the boys. And I'm like, 3? What's the third one for? And he's like, just in case.
There you go. Oh, baby.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, everybody pray that Marianne has a baby. No, just kidding.
Marianne.
Oh my God. Ladies, you know we love hearing your stories. So chat with us about your PMSing stories in our private Facebook group linked below. And if you have topics that you'd like us to cover, leave us a comment here or visit mamasmimosas.com and we will link that below too. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.